Hello, I'm Adam. About a month ago, I did an episode describing my business plan for my drone business. So I have been looking into it more. And after having acquired both my um, drones, it's going to take a lot longer than I was thinking. So turns out neither of those drones have a battery life of more than 10 minutes at best. So I'm going to continue to use them, basically so that I can get used to flying them. And whenever I get good enough at flying them, and the weather's actually decent, the weather's been better today than it has been for almost last month. But I need to have a lot more practice flying those drones before I consider doing, or before I buy a drone that actually will be feasible to actually make the business. So I'm not starting it tomorrow like I was originally planning, but I am going to keep going with it. At least for right now, the plan is still on. I'm just pushing it back. So that's where I stand with that. All of those questions that I had in the last video regarding, insurance and just getting clients, creating website and whatnot. Those questions are still there. I don't have those answers yet. Mostly because about a week and a half ago, I moved to another place in the area for cost efficiency, and I've been focused on that primarily. But on that note, I also want to talk about more than just my drone business, because I am still planning on going forward with that. My new goal time frame, May 1st. I want a definitive answer for myself at that point in time. May 1st will be the day, once and for all, I decide whether or not I'm actually going to be able to perform the business or not. That way, if the Army decides they want to try to do something else with me because I have 2 years left, at that point in time, I'll probably know what they have in mind. And if not, then I don't. So as far as the business goes, that's what I have. I do, however, want to get into my goals for 2020. But also I want to talk about the goals I had for 2019 and how I've how I have done with those goals in particular. I want to start with my financial goals. December 31st, 2018, I had $23,000 to my name, but I also had a vehicle loan I was paying off. 2 months later, I paid off that loan, and my goal for 2019 was that yesterday, 31 December, I'd have $30,000 net. Because I paid off my truck in full, I was not able to accomplish $30,000 in net worth. But I did make $27,000, so I was only $3,000 short. Another goal I had for last year was to own my own house. I didn't know what kind of house I wanted at the time, but I wanted to own my own house. That goal is still not there. That was part of why I had $30,000 as my goal, was that I would have enough to be able to buy a house about a month ago. I have rediversified pretty much all of my finances, so that's not, if I were to pool everything I had, yes, I could buy a house right now, but I don't want to do that because I actually have a different idea. the only other real goal I had for last year was a goal I have every year. And that's get a girlfriend. I did date more, like a lot more throughout last year than I have any year in the past in that way. But, I don't have one of those right now. I have a podcast where I talk about that. So, actually, I don't really want to talk about that. I'm going to edit this part out. I'm going to start over with that. The other one was get a girlfriend. And I did date more. Like, with the intent of trying to get a girlfriend. I ended up dating 3 women, which is odd for me. Most I've ever dated in 1 year was 1. So, I'm going through a dating program, and it actually has helped a lot. So, yeah, that goal wasn't, that was the other goal. It wasn't particularly reached, but it was going in the right direction, just like with the other 2. So, goals for 2020 after having reviewed 2019. Already talked about my drone business. That was first and foremost. And yeah, that's the first goal I have for 2019. I actually have a book here where I have written down my different goals for 2019. Most of them are financial. There's one that isn't. Second thing is, I have a podcast. It's not about making money. It's not about becoming profitable with it. As if you can't tell from this, I'm a baseball fan. I'm a Red Sox fan first, then I'm a Nationals fan, then I like the Orioles, and so on and so forth. I will root for anyone not named the Yankees. I just want to talk about baseball. Sometimes I just want to say something. So every Friday during the regular season, I do an episode. The first day of spring training, I'm going to do an episode on free agency, the different free agents that have moved, because this year it's actually been active unlike the last couple of years. And then each day during spring training, I'm going to talk about each individual team. I mentioned I don't like the Yankees, but I will give them the due respect. I don't like them, but I do respect them. And then I will do an episode every Friday. I made like 39 cents off of it. So it's not even reportable because I can't withdraw the money. If it is, then it is. I don't know, pay the nickel or whatever. So my goal with my podcast is to have one episode have 100 people listen to it. It's all goals for that business, because technically it is. I don't necessarily think it'll happen, but it could. I mean, I do an episode every Friday, mostly because Friday's my day, the end of the work week, where I can actually stop, take a minute, review everything, and then come back. So, yeah, I will do that. I have no goals for this YouTube channel. I don't expect to make anything off of this YouTube channel. I mean, it's just, not only is this such a cutthroat business, I have done nothing to try to, make it that, if you will. Third thing, I mentioned last year I just wanted to buy a house. Didn't really care what it was. I just wanted a house in the area. This year, not only do I want a house, I actually want to use it for its own business. So I guess technically that's 3 different businesses I want to try to start in 2020, which is kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, worth it. So I want to buy a townhouse, 3 to 4 rooms, and I will rent all of them out. It'll be an investment property. I don't actually intend to live in this house. I live in an area with a lot of military members, a lot of single military members. So the idea would be to provide cheap rent in a townhouse to service members. That would be the demographic I'm looking for. And I'd be charging probably, I don't know, $800 a month. That way I can cover the mortgage, any damages that might ensue, because, you know, like the air conditioner breaks, like, I'm gonna have to call the guy. But then again, that's it. And then it's, quote, passive income, but at the same time, it's something I could just do. My goal is to have that accomplished by December 2020. A lot of things can and probably will happen between now and then, but I'm still keeping that goal anyway because it's what I want. That's the only goal I have for that right now. Oh, I mentioned I have no intention of making YouTube a business. I am still planning on doing it last day of the month. I didn't yesterday because of New Year's and life in general. So there's that. Here we go. My net worth as of yesterday was approximately, not exactly, approximately $27,000. By the end of 2020, I want my net worth to be $50,000. So even if the podcast fails, I don't buy that townhouse, and the drone business just collapses, I do have a regular job. I'm in the Army. So I want to, or I'm going to, obviously I'm still going to be making money because I've reevaluated my entire budget. I want to have a net worth of $50,000. That is the goal. It's a bit bullish, I'll admit, but at the same time, I see no reason to think that it can't happen. It may not, but it's worth believing in. And I do. Last one that I have is not so much specific. So the end of 2018, I had almost all my money in one place, my checking account. One of the things that I did do in 2019, I diversified. Like, I actually started actively investing in the market, in REITs. I own REITs, which actually I have lost money on it, but I'm still expecting my dividend, which is like 4.4-ish%. And I own enough shares that it actually does make up what I've lost in capital gains. I also invest in Edward Jones. Like I mentioned, I paid off my truck, so I have zero debt. I've started using credit cards, but at the same time, I pay off my credit card every Tuesday. No questions asked. I pay off my credit card every Tuesday. I don't have to, but I do that, and I have it set up so that due date for the credit card, I pay off the full balance. Doesn't matter if I paid it off the day before or I was in the hospital for whatever reason and wasn't able to touch it. Full balance is paid off, regardless. So I'm going to continue to invest in all those different things. And then I have one last goal for this year. It's the same that I have every year. It's not financial. Still trying to get a girlfriend. It's difficult, but at the same time, it's worth it. I'm going to just keep going with that. Going through that dating program, going to continue to go through it, and it's worth it. So that is all of my that is all of my goals for 2020. Hopefully by the end of the year I'll be able to make these videos not only more cohesive and coherent, but I'll be able to review this thing in that itty bitty little box like a lot of people do and go, ha. So yeah, cheers until next time.